Veronica. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about today.
I'm excited too, and I have no idea what this is going to be all about, but I'm going to leave it to you.
Well, I am honored to be turning the tables on Mama E, because what's going to happen today, I'm going to interview you, and we're going
to. That is definitely a switch.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm one with the questions.
All
okay.
Right.
So the topic for today is all about AS, Atlantis Scalar. And I am excited because I can't wait to learn the backstory, even though I know a little bit of it. So let's start at the beginning. And no, we don't have to go all the way back to your birth date. Let's start with your background.
That would be way far back. No, I guess, I love helping people. This is why I started channeling Eric, because I heal best by helping others. And I got a call, an email from a relative who I adore, announcing they had 2 cancers and that they were both metastatic, and he was terminal, and he was wanted to announce that he was doing the end of life planning. And I just was so upset. Anyway, I'm just remembering all that. So I got on the computer and I started just researching. I want to save this guy. I mean, obviously Western medicine was not helping. So I stumbled upon Scalar Energy, and I learned all about it, that Tesla and Dr. Maxwell sort of discovered that these waves that are not part of the I'm sorry, I'm still crying. He's doing so much better though. Anyway, Elisa. All right, so that they carry information over long distance. They're not part of the electromagnetic spectrum. They're helical, and they travel forever without degradation at all. And they carry information. Everyone, well, who knows anything about physics knows that thought creates reality, right? So that's why the law of attraction works. When you think, I am abundant, then abundance comes. Now, if you think about, I want abundance, then the universe is going to interpret that as like, you're always going to be wanting abundance and never getting it. So anyway, I went through so many renditions of trying to help him with I bought a Scalar Energy generator, a transmitter and receiver. I put his picture in there with an intent script, and I found out the Scalar Energy frequencies for cancer, killing cancer. Those didn't work. I needed to call upon Eric and my divine team in order to figure out the right frequency sequences in order to, so the intent script is very long. It's like destroy all the cancer and all the DNA in every cancer cell. And I won't tell the name.
So let's go back to the beginning. So the beginning of your professional career, you don't have this kind of stuff in your professional background.
Oh, no. I'm an internist.
You tell people who might not know your story, where you started professionally.
Oh, I'm a physician, practiced for around 30 years, internal medicine, loved it, loved my patients. Then Eric died and I sort of retired and decided to give up that income and just devote myself to helping people that were suffering from loss like me. And so that grew and grew and grew, and we interviewed different people, and we used different wonderful mediums like you to find out more about life, death, the afterlife, crossing over, and all that stuff. And then, boom, Atlantis Scalar comes up.
So do you feel like that this is the next wave of how we're going to heal the world? Like, is it potentially that? Could it be that
potential? I'm still learning too. Recently, I did something to, Eric gave me a script and frequency set for healing the world, Gaia, and humanity. And it's really long, but we did it every day for 8 weeks, I think it was, or twice a day for 8 weeks. Basically to to heal the prostitutes and the Johns and the drug abusers and the drug traffickers and North Korea and war and all, and just everything, and the problems with Mother Earth herself. So yeah, it can be, but as far as medical is concerned, we're really not treating a person physically like I did as a doctor, giving them, doing x-rays and giving a treatment plan, et cetera. This is treating their biofield, basically. It's associated with their name, their whatever information we get, address, a photo, et cetera. And the scalar energy receiver receives that biofield along with a script to whatever we want to do.
Can you talk about the script though? Can you help me understand the script? Is that the formula for the frequency?
It's very long. My longest one is 19 pages, single spaced. Okay, but it's for example, on the age reversal, so and so has the maximum possible youthfulness and physical appearance. So and so has the maximum possible youthfulness in physiology and blah 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 in biochemistry, and just it's quite long. But there's also in the script a setup for protection, because I have to be protected. At first I didn't protect myself well enough, and so I had all sorts of things from the dark side attack me, giving me a black eye, spraining my thumb. When I would do my work after I took a bath, the bathtub would be full of black gunk. It was just awful. But anyway, now I've tightened that script as well. And then of course, part of the intent script is that it should transcend all lifetimes, all past, present, future, and parallel and alternate lifetimes and alternate universes, parallel universes, realms, worlds, all the densities of all harmonic triads. I mean, so that's in it too. And also the script that it lasts from now and for all eternity. Part of that includes shielding the person, all the life forms in the home, the possessions, the land, so that's impenetrable to anything bad, the dark side.
Do you and Eric write the scripts, or where do these scripts come from? How do you know?
I know it's Eric.
Oh, okay.
So most of the time I feel like I channel it, and then I say, okay, which of these paragraphs need correcting? And he tells me, and I go, okay, what is it? Line 1, line 2 of the paragraph, line 3, and then okay, what is it? An adjective or an adverb that needs changing? So it's a lengthy process. It took me really until now to totally hone it so that it really does work. And this last couple of weekends, for 16 to 20 hours Saturday and Sundays, I've done this something called a boost protocol, because Eric wants me to do it annually, where he takes everyone's energy work from the very beginning, from last August, and fills in all the gaps, erases all the accumulated energy blocks, because you accrue them over a year. Oh, yeah. And just a whole bunch of other stuff. And all of a sudden I have people coming out of the work. Oh my God, it's so much better now. I had one email from somebody saying, I was riddled with parasites, with worms. And I went to the doctor. They diagnosed it. Yep, you are full of parasites and ova and all that. So I did the pathogen cleanse, the getting rid of all infectious agents. And the doctor did a repeat, nothing, totally clean. And they don't understand why. We didn't treat you. I don't know what's going on. So, so it really is, this could be a big, huge component of medicine in the future. I mean, I have a couple of paraplegics who are now regaining their bladder function because of the paraplegia thing. I have people who's a person who we did for free the stroke service, and all of a sudden his hand, which is always in a contracture, is now unfurling, and he didn't know we did it. So he's like, oh my God, it's a miracle. So, it's, this is going to give Big Pharma a run for their money. Absolutely. There are people who are no longer have pain in their joints. There's going to be less surgery, less doctor visits, less pharmaceuticals, less, diagnostic intervention. It's not going to put doctors out of business. Okay. But
isn't it meant to be like this, to finally go together and be the whole process of healing? Right.
It should be a component. MD Anderson here in Houston has what I hear, an energy medicine department. So
I have heard that.
so energy medicine is real. Something I used to laugh about before when I was an idiot. But yeah, it's a real deal, and it should be a companion to, I mean, Western, Eastern medicine, scalar energy, and the physics of scalar energy ought to be hand in hand to help people become healthy, whole, and abundant. You know, it brings in abundance too by
Is
opening up snapshot portals that close you off from abundance. Once we open those, abundance generally flows through. So
would you agree that the person that's receiving the energy also has an active role in the receiving it, as in a mindset?
yes,
Is that
good
true?
question. Good question. And I've had to change my script because of that. Because, you know, if the intent script in the scalar field is having to do an uphill battle against the person's belief that I'm not worthy, or of this health, abundance of health and wealth and love and happiness, or if they think, "Ugh, too good to be true," then it's a fight. It's a battle between the two wills, you know, two thought creates reality. Okay.
Mhm.
So in general, I like it when people order it for their loved ones and don't let them know about it, because then I don't want to.
Because the results are, you know, they're pure. So could we say that results may vary?
Oh, yes. And I say that in all the description boxes. And it does depend on the person and also energy blocks. If they keep accumulating energy blocks, then that sometimes will slow things down. But that's why we do the boost protocol, to get rid of everybody's energy blocks once a year. But I did put a YouTube up on what causes energy blocks and how to get rid of them. I think it's up now. So
Do you have any kind of concern, or, you know, as a physician, you know, obviously you care, you don't have to be a physician to be you, because you care about everybody, but as a physician, you took an oath, right? I mean,
yes.
so what do you feel about people who just kind of don't want to heal and then come back at you, and there's this energy here where, you know, they're blaming you? And does that ever happen?
Well, yeah, there was this one, only once has it ever happened, because most people don't order this stuff if they don't want to be healed, right?
Yeah. I just
Um,
wondered if there were any naysayers that come at you.
well, I'll tell you one story. But first, it's like, all right, so some people really love being, they even if it's on a subconscious level, they're comfortable with their diabetes one, you know, it's all they know. It puts them in that secondary gain kind of position. So sometimes we have to battle against this. But one time this one guy, friend of my husband's, had terrible knee injuries from motorcycle racing and ankle and stuff. So he wanted me to help him. So I did. And I said, well, you know, we're going to have to do the work on your entire household to get rid of all sorts of stuff that could be contributing. So make sure you check with your wife and all that. Okay. So 14 hours afterwards, I I found out from the wife, she was really pissed because her father is a preacher, and he don't want that. So I said, okay, I'll undo everything. Fine. I'll open the portals. Of course, I didn't really, I don't know how to do it anyway. Sorry, I can't get rid of the negative energies that are coming back in or whatever and stuff. But anyway, so I couldn't do it. I tried, but I didn't really want to, and Eric wouldn't let me anyway. But now this guy keeps coming back to me and saying, you know, I've had these injuries 6 years ago, but all of a sudden they're starting to get better. Is that what usually happens, doctor? It's like, I don't know. So that's the only other time I've had it, is a family member got pissed because because I've used Eric, and you know, she thought, well,
not all people are ready for that kind of awareness yet. So
no,
I get it.
no.
So speaking of Eric, how do you like collaborating with your boy?
Oh, I love it. Every day we're together. It's wonderful. And He just makes it so much easier. He says that that I really don't need him in the divine team. It's really all about scalar energy. And I also tried to use my own healing ability by just, using love. I mean, just envision pouring love into the scalar field. And I actually, when I'm doing that, I'm very often I sob with love. I'm so overcome by love for that person. Even if I really don't know them, I get overcome by love, and it just pours into the scalar field and goes to their energy. Because love is probably one of the most powerful healing tools.
Oh, yeah.
Love heals all. And
The
so
highest
green, pink, whatever light of love just pours into the scalar field and reaches that person. And so I have my component. Eric says that it's 15% me, 15% them, but the rest is scalar energy. It's like the physics, the basic thought creates reality, and probably scalar energy could do it all. But I want to use my love. So,
what I find interesting, when I first met you, obviously you had a lot of experience with this, and you had used mediums to connect with Eric. And prior to me meeting you, you'd done the work to believing this, because like you mentioned briefly, that wasn't in your background. That wasn't anything you believed in. And so how much impact, in hindsight now, can you see that your belief had on this ability to flow this communication from Eric? How much do you think your belief impacted what you do now?
That's a good question. I wasn't an atheist, but I was raised by two atheists. And as a physician, you're as a scientist, basically, you're trained to think that something is real only if you can perceive it with one of your senses or measure it with an instrument. That's it. Mm-hmm. So when Eric died, it's like, is he anywhere at all? But then my father had called me 3 days later and in a panic and said, Elisa, I was sitting in my chair reading the Wall Street Journal. I look up and there's Eric standing right in front of me. I don't know what to believe. I'm so startled. All right. So this is not a guy who would say that to try to give me hope.
He's an atheist, right?
Yeah, but he's also a bastard. He was. His first words to me when Eric died was, sorry, he's going to turn to dust, Elisa. That was it. That was it when I was screaming on the phone. So anyway, so then I thought, well, okay, maybe there's something here. That's when I started reading quantum physics, near-death experience, controlled studies with mediums, information about parallel dimensions and all sorts of stuff. And then I started getting information from mediums that was undeniably from Eric. I mean, absolutely. And we started getting pranks and visits, manifestations. I can go there. It's all in the blog. The incredible pranks he did that just not by chance. Still, it took me 3.5 years before I, would totally believe. And it was an EVP that was on an interview. And before that, it was like, I believe. Oh, but what if it's not true? Then time would go by and you think, oh, maybe I was something, I don't know. Maybe it's just not real. I guess because I was really afraid to believe, because what if I did? And then all of a sudden I found out it was all a bunch of nonsense. And it would be like losing him all over again. I could not go through that. So then I heard his real voice. I mean, it was Eric. I know my kid's voice. And that's when I really totally 100% believed. And that's when I totally believed in all the stuff I'm doing now. And there is spirit, just because they vibrate at a high frequency that's outside and above the electromagnetic spectrum part of the visible range, does not mean they don't exist. Radio waves exist. All right. Look what we're doing. There are waves at the bottom of that, and it exists just because you can't see those waves. So anyway, so yeah, that's why I know, and I see the concrete results that scalar energy has an immense power to heal, among other things.
Oh,
I mean, it is tapping into 0 point field. It is 0 point field. it's endless energy.
Mind blowing. It
It's
can
mind
be
blowing.
mind blowing. So to keep this at a really simple, basic level, because, well, that's me. So the way that it works is I have an issue. Let's say, well, you just did age reversal on me, right?
Yeah.
So is it like, well, I really just want to look younger? Is it like, how does somebody come to that conclusion that these services are what they need?
Yeah. By the way, I have done this on other people and their partners that said, wait, you look younger. What's going on? And people have told me that I did on myself, of course.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I look younger for 66 years old. But no, it is the script for that one is long. First of all, telling the scalar field to create the maximum youthfulness and physical appearance, and these are all separate sentences, and biochemistry and physiology and also to bring every cell to its ideal and pristine and perfected state in every tissue, and redistribution of tissue to the proper ideal. And it is, there's a lot more to it. And also the shielding from antioxidants and mutagens, and destroy all mutagens, and we attack the telomeres and so on. So no, it's the age reversal thing is a big one. It takes a long time, and it's a huge script. It's not just make her you look young. It's not that.
No, and again, results may vary based on your contribution, their contribution. So it's not a one size fits all, as I understand.
No.
Right.
And I ask people to tap into their own heart, and also one thing I always recommend to people is don't over order. I mean, it's a big mistake to over order. Like somebody might say, well, my dog's a problem, very aggressive. Well, okay. Because you need to break spiritual contracts and do a bunch of other stuff anyway, you kind of need the start here thing, which is what we used to call super portal work with increased vibration. Now we call it energy repair, protection, and enhancement. And sometimes that takes care of so much. You don't have to order the depression relief on your depressed kid, and all of a sudden the dog's aggression is gone. And so I always recommend that first, and then
So I guess my question is this: if I'm that person that orders that, right, how do I know if it's working? Like, can you give me some insight from feedback you've gotten, or did Eric put out how it works? Because I would be that person that goes, how do I know if this works?
Well, okay, first of all, Eric gives us a sort of a time range, the earliest initial results, the earliest maximum results. And because all of a sudden, like I knew when I did I was testing the benign essential hypertension thing on me, Eric advised me to slowly taper off one of my 2 drugs, and we were tapering off the other one. And also I get up in the middle of the night and I pass out because my blood pressure is 70/48. And so I had to stop the bystolic, and now my blood pressure is, 120/70 something average.
So the proof is in the pudding,
it's in the pudding. Yes. And you have to, if it's for a pet, you need to confirm with your vet. If it's you or a loved one, they need to follow along with their physician. I found that out with one of my relatives who has diabetes. I did the diabetes type 1 thing on her, which is not available yet. We're still testing it. And I was about to call her and let her know I just finished it. I didn't want to tell her that I was going to do it, because she would be one of those that I'd have to fight her disbelief with as an intent, in the scalar field. So I called her, and actually right before I called her, she called me and said, oh my God, my blood sugars are dropping. I always help her with her blood sugars, figuring that out. What should I do? And I say, oh, let me tell you what happened. So she's had to decrease her Atlantis insulin. So it's really important you follow along with your doctor and or vet if it's for an animal.
Now, can you do this for somebody, like, I think you just spoke to this, but can you do this for somebody that doesn't know? Is that?
Oh yeah. Like I have this one that's pretty popular, called Freedom from Narcissism. And a lot of people have, narcissists not gonna, I'm not narcissistic. What do you mean? So, for example, they've ordered it for that person. They don't need to know. And the fact of the matter is, we always check with their higher self and get permission. Always.
So you are checking.
If they don't get permission, then they don't. If it's an irrevocable spiritual contract, we can't do anything. They have to learn whatever the lesson is from that contract. We do revoke and reverse spiritual contracts that have been fully honored, and a lot of them have, but people still have them, So, and a lot of people have made in other lives these vows for poverty, and so they just like, I don't know why I'm not making any money, I'm just struggling. We revoke those as part of it too. So, because a vow, that's thought creates reality. Even curses, people say curses, really? Come on, this is not the Middle Ages. Curses are a thought, just like prayers are thoughts. Yep. They actually can create reality. Maybe not that easily, but they do. So those also need to be revoked. So maybe a pox on you and your family back in, the year 850, it happened.
So are there only certain things that you can do for people? Like if somebody who has diabetes didn't give you permission, like your cousin, and you didn't know them, how would you know to monitor their progress, or how would they know? So are there certain?
No, I haven't done that. I won't do it. Okay. I won't do those kind of medical things that need to be monitored, like blood pressure and blood sugar.
That's what I thought.
But I can't. Now lipids, correcting, their lipids, or taking care of their atherosclerosis, healing the scars in their heart, things like that, I can do, because that's not dangerous. But if it's something that has to be monitored, they're going to have to know. That's it. I can't help them otherwise.
Perfect. So it says that I've heard that you work with a team of entities, obviously our boy, but can you share who some of them are or no?
Oh gosh, there's so many. There's probably 30 or 40. One is actually Tall White Adrian, the spokesperson for the Tall Whites. I love him.
Very cool.
But all of God's archangels, Gaia, all the guardian angels and the healing teams. Everybody has actually a healing team. I invoke their healing teams. Saint Francis, guardian angel Veronica, my guardian angel, just a lot, a bunch of benevolent celestial beings, interdimensional beings, etc. So it's quite a big group.
Beautiful. And I just want to say that, like anybody who steps out of the norm, people are going to sling stuff. Right. And what I want to say to that from personal experience, and I know you've endured this, it makes us stronger, and it can make us more convicted. And what you are doing, the world needs it. You weren't looking for one more thing to do. Like you just weren't. And so this was laid upon your heart for a reason, and you're making a difference in the world. Is there anything else that you want to say about Atlantis Scalar before we
I encourage people to sign up for the newsletter. It's like it's on every single page, because I don't send crap. Okay. And I don't sell addresses. What I do is I send out like, hey, I need volunteers, and I'll do free work on you for X, Y, or Z. That's a big one. So, I do a lot of free work, a lot of it. Probably the majority of what I do is for free, but still I keep the prices as low as I can and have the dowsing rods and the scalar field still work. So, yeah.
Well, money's energy, and there needs to be an exchange of energy. And so
I still do stuff for free, and I let them know, pay me if you win and if you can. So, especially when it has to do with cancer. I mean, I have people saying, my mother's dying of cancer and I can't afford to, of course, I'm a physician. I mean, I have to, that's the Hippocratic Oath. Okay. I have to do that.
Absolutely. And, Eric has been a driving force in all of our lives. And I think we all rally behind you with this. And Eric says each one of us has our role in this. And I'm honored, quite frankly, to be part of it.
And you are on the healing team. Tell
Yeah.
a little bit about, I shouldn't be interviewing you, I know, but go ahead. Can you please share?
You're natural.
Yeah, it's because, right now I got a sale on, well, I don't know when this is going to be. It's Labor Day is going to be finished on this energy repair, protection, and enhancement with one healing recommendation. And also you can get the healing recommendations by itself. But Eric has, for some reason, been wanting you, well, not for some reason, you do healing on these people. So
he asked me and I was like, yeah, I'll take a couple. And it's like, oh my God. And then it just kept coming and coming. And what I do is I incorporate past life stuff with it, not to the degree that somebody who is a past life therapist would do. I see it like a movie. I can see the affliction really quick. We go in, we laser it off, but I want to say in coordination with what you do, I think this is very powerful stuff.
Yeah, I think it takes a village, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a team to help people and to help the collective, to help Gaia. It takes all of us together. And I think this is just one more reminder that we are all one. And if we want to be happy and healthy and whole, we have to also want the same and try to help envision the same for all.
And so I would like to share a message that Eric is giving you. And he says that he didn't think he could be any prouder of who you were, not only as a mother, but as a human being.
Oh, thank you.
He says,
likewise.
You taught him selflessness from the very beginning, and that he attributes who he was/is to the character that you instilled in him by modeling. So
thank you. I love you, Eric.
And he loves you very much. So any other words we want to share with people about the scalar work?
No, just know that you're worth it. Please know that you are worth it. I mean, most of the time it's an amazing investment because, for example, one of the first people I did it on to get rid of some horrible negative entities you caught in a selfie, that went away and the energy in her house was completely transformed. She was completely transformed. And because we opened up the closed portals that are closed from trauma, etc., she got a $75,000 check from a distant relative like 3 days later. So, I mean, it can really be incredibly transformative. And you guys are worth it. You're worth it.
I love it. What's the website?
AtlantisScalar.com. Atlantis, ATLANTISSCALAR.com. Read the about page if you can, educate yourself, read the description boxes, but always go to the start here category. That is the first, and it's possibly all that you need.
I want to just interject here. The lights in my studio/office have been blinking off and on, and it's Eric because he's like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here,
Aww,
I'm here.
Boys everywhere.
Yeah, and so should we go dark? No. Anyway, I want to tell you how honored I feel, and I really want to tell you I have a new appreciation for what you do. This is not easy on this side.
I know it isn't. It's not. It really is.
It's like
very grueling work. It's very long work.
Well,
it's worth it.
It is worth it. And we love you and we thank you. And everybody needs to check out Atlantis Scalar and this beautiful human being right here. So, and
y'all too, veronicadrake.com. Love you, Veronica. Love you, Eric. Love you, my Atlantis Scalar peeps.
Bye.
Bye.